Have you ever noticed how the most polite person in the room is often the one who gets ignored, interrupted, or quietly stepped on? That question should bother you, because it reveals something most people are never taught. Politeness, when used without awareness, does not make you respected. It makes you predictable, and predictability is easy to exploit. From childhood, you're trained to be agreeable. Say please. Say sorry. Don't cause trouble. Don't upset anyone. Over time, this conditioning becomes automatic. Your brain learns that approval equals safety. Rejection égale danger. So you choose politeness even when it costs you your dignity, even when it costs you your future, even when it costs you yourself. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Human beings do not respect excessive politeness. They tolerate it, and tolerance is fragile. The moment your usefulness drops, the respect disappears. Psychology proves this again and again. People value what has boundaries. They value what can say no. They value what does not beg for acceptance. Politeness feels good in the moment. It reduces tension. It avoids conflict. It gives you the illusion of peace. But beneath that surface calm, something dangerous. Each time you stay quiet, each time you smile, you feel respect. Each time you say yes to the body, you train others up. And worse, you train yourself to believe your needs come last. This is not about becoming cruel. This is not about becoming heartless. This is about understanding power. Ruthlessness, in its healthiest form, is clarity. It is decisiveness. It is self-respect without apology. A ruthless person does not explain their boundaries 100 times. They state them once, and if needed, they enforce them with action. Your mind is constantly scanning for safety. When you act overly polite, your nervous system is trying to avoid threat. But growth never happens in avoidance. Confidence is built through confrontation, not aggression, but confrontation. The willingness to sit in discomfort long enough to protect your self-worth. Think about this. Why do some people feel comfortable interrupting you? Why do some people show up late to your time? Why do some people push your limits again and again? It is not because they are evil. It is because you taught them that there would be no consequences. Politeness without limits teaches people that access to you is unlimited. Deep down, you already know this. You feel it in your chest when you agree to something you resent. You feel it when you apologize, even though you did nothing wrong. That tightness is your self-respect asking to be defended. Ignoring it slowly disconnects you from yourself. Ruthlessness begins the moment you stop negotiating your worth. It begins when you understand that being liked is not the same as being valued. Being liked is cheap. Being respected is earned through consistency and boundaries. Psychology shows that people trust those who are firm more than those who are flexible with everything. If you stay until the very end of this video, you will gain something rare. You will walk away knowing exactly when politeness is costing you power and how to replace it with calm, controlled strength without becoming someone you hate. Most people never learn this. They live their entire lives wondering why they feel invisible. The world rewards those who are clear about who they are and what they tolerate. It does not reward those who disappear to keep others comfortable. Every time you choose politeness over truth, you abandon a piece of your identity. And over time, that abandonment turns into frustration, resentment, and quiet anger. This first realization is critical. You're not weak for being polite. You're untrained in using strength correctly. Strength is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is firm. It is simple. It is the ability to say no and sleep peacefully afterward. In the moments ahead, you will learn where politeness becomes self-betrayal. Situations where kindness is mistaken for permission. Situations where silence becomes agreement. Once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. And once you stop playing the role of the agreeable person, something powerful happens. People adjust, or they leave. Both outcomes are wins. Remember this. Politeness keeps things smooth on the surface. Ruthlessness protects what matters underneath. And the moment you choose self-respect over approval, your life starts to change. Once you accept that politeness without boundaries weakens you, The next step is learning where to draw the line. Not someday, not later. In real moments where hesitation costs you power. These are the situations where most people hesitate, smile, and lose ground. Strong people do the opposite. They stay calm, they stay clear, and they act. The first situation is when someone disrespects your time. Time is not just minutes on a clock. It is your life in motion. When someone shows up late again and again, cancels without care, or treats your schedule as flexible while guarding their own, they're communicating something silently. They're saying your time is less valuable than theirs. Politeness tells you to ignore it. Ruthlessness tells you to respond once, clearly, and then adjust your access. People protect what they invest in. When your time has no cost, it has no value. The second situation is when your boundaries are ignored repeatedly. Everyone deserves one mistake. That is human, but repetition is intention. When someone crosses the same line again and again, they're not confused. They're testing how much you will tolerate. Politeness keeps explaining. Ruthlessness stops explaining and starts acting. Boundaries are not requests. They are conditions. And conditions only work when they are enforced. The third situation is emotional manipulation. This is where politeness becomes dangerous. Guilt, fear, obligation. These are subtle tools people use to control behavior. They make you feel selfish for protecting yourself. They make you feel cruel for saying no. Your brain wants relief, so you comply. Ruthlessness here is emotional clarity. You do not argue with manipulation. You do not defend yourself endlessly. You recognize the pattern, detach emotionally, and choose yourself without drama. The fourth situation is when you know you are being used. You feel it when someone only calls when they need something. When appreciation disappears, but demands remain. Politeness keeps you available. Ruthlessness changes the pattern immediately. You stop giving access without reciprocity, not to punish, but to preserve your energy. People respect limits more than generosity that has no spine. The fifth situation is when you apologize for existing. Over-apologizing is a sin. It tells the world you believe you. It lowers your perceived value. Politeness trains you in solitude. Ruthlessness allows you to stay. Silence becomes your confidence. You stop apologizing for taking space, having needs, or expressing opinions. Each of these moments rewires how others see you. More importantly, they rewire how you see yourself. Psychology is clear on this. The brain builds identity through action. When you act with self-respect, your nervous system learns safety without submission. You become calmer, clearer, less reactive. This is real confidence, not loudness, not arrogance, stability. Notice how all of this feels uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is not danger. It is growth. Your mind is adjusting to a new standard, a higher one. Most people retreat at this stage because discomfort feels wrong. But strong people understand something crucial. Short-term discomfort prevents long-term regret. As you apply this, some people will resist. They benefited from your silence. They enjoyed your availability. When you change, the system shifts. Some will adapt. Others will leave. Neither outcome should scare you. Losing access to those who drain you creates space for those who respect you. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming precise. You can be kind and firm at the same time. You can be calm and unmovable. Ruthlessness does not mean raising your voice. It means lowering your tolerance for disrespect. Every time you protect your time, enforce a boundary, resist manipulation, stop being used, or drop unnecessary apologies, you send a message to yourself. I matter. That message compounds. Slowly, your posture changes. Your tone changes. Your presence changes. People feel it before you say a word. This is how strength is built. Quietly, consistently, without asking for permission. Once you begin protecting your time and enforcing boundaries, something deeper starts to surface. You realize that strength is not only tested by other people. It is tested by your own comfort, your own fear, and your own silence. This is where most people stop, and this is where the strongest ones separate themselves. The sixth situation appears when someone crosses your core values. These are not preferences. These are not moods. These are the principles that define who you are. When someone mocks them, pressures you to abandon them, or slowly erodes them for convenience, politeness becomes self-erasure. Staying quiet in these moments teaches your mind that your values are optional. Ruthlessness here is non-negotiable clarity. You do not debate your foundation. You stand on it. People may disagree, but they will understand that some lines do not move. The seventh situation is when comfort starts costing you growth. Comfort feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels calm. But psychology is clear on this. The brain adapts to whatever you tolerate. If you tolerate stagnation, your ambition weakens. Politeness keeps you in familiar places because you do not want to disappoint anyone. Ruthlessness chooses temporary discomfort for long-term power. It is waking up earlier, leaving familiar environments, saying no to habits that feel good but lead nowhere. Growth demands friction. Avoiding it is a quiet form of self-sabotage. The eighth situation is when people punish you for improving. This one confuses many. You expect support when you grow, but often, growth threatens those who are comfortable staying the same. Your discipline makes them uneasy. Your boundaries make them defensive. Politeness tells you to shrink again to keep harmony. Ruthlessness allows you to outgrow people without explaining yourself. You do not need permission to evolve. Those meant to walk with you will adjust. Those who cannot were never aligned with your future. Then comes the ninth situation, the most dangerous one. When you know the truth, but stay silent. Silence feels neutral, but it is not. Silence is a decision. When you see injustice, manipulation, or disrespect and say nothing, your mind registers it as agreement. Over time, this breaks your internal trust. You start doubting yourself. You feel weaker, even if no one notices. Ruthlessness is speaking once, clearly, and then letting the outcome be what it is. You do not need to repeat yourself. Truth spoken calmly carries weight. At this level, something important changes. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. You stop trying to manage how everyone feels about you. You become grounded. Your nervous system settles. This is the paradox. When you stop trying to keep everyone comfortable, you finally feel at peace. Strong people are not respected because they are harsh. They are respected because they are consistent. Their yes means yes. The no means no. Their presence feels solid. Psychology shows that humans trust stability more than charm. Charm fades, stability commands. Attention. You will notice fewer arguments in your life, not more. Clear boundaries reduce conflict. Ruthlessness removes confusion. People know where they stand with you. Those who thrive on chaos drift away. Those who value clarity stay. This path is not popular. It is not praised early, but it is powerful. You trade applause for alignment. You trade approval for self-respect. And that trade changes everything. Politeness keeps peace with others. Ruthlessness keeps peace with yourself. One makes you agreeable. The other makes you unshakable. When you choose self-respect over validation, your posture changes. Your decisions sharpen. Your life starts responding differently. You were never meant to be soft in moments that require strength. You were meant to be clear. And clarity is one of the rarest forms of power in the world.